I am so glad to be here with Tom Sosnoff, CEO and founder of Tastylive and Tastytrade in the trading room. Welcome.
It's great to be here.
Thank you, Tom. Well, tell us about Tastylive. What is it and how did you found it, or why did you found it?
Well, originally the genesis behind Tastylive was that we wanted to create I didn't like financial media in the US, and I thought it could be better. And so the genesis behind it was, let's make financial media better. Let's make it so that it's not just interviewing guests and asking people what they think or things like that. I wanted something that was more mathematical, more quantitative.
Okay, and explain us more about your show that it can last like 8 hours.
Right now, we go 10 hours a day,
Wow.
and we're about to go 1:30 in the morning Central Time, or 7:30 in the morning London time. So we're about to go to, we're basically going to 16 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
With no guests.
Okay, that's amazing. I really admired it. And tell us about your background. How did you start in the financial markets and trading industry?
Well, originally I started because when I got out of college, there were no jobs anywhere else. So I got a job in finance, and that I just ended up here for the next 40 some odd years. But I started off as a floor trader for about 20 years on the floor of the CBOE. And then I built Thinkorswim and then Tasty.
Okay. And can you share with us any key experiences that have shaped your perspective in the financial markets, particularly in global markets, financial risk management, and technology?
That's a pretty big question. There's a lot of stuff in there. I mean, one of the things that I think that's been very effective for us is we have never tried to solve a problem in finance. We've always tried to deliver like our own message about what we think finance should look like: financial content, financial technology, financial strategies. So we've always just focused on kind of our thing, and it's worked for us.
Okay. And what do you think about this training and education conferences like Risk Management and Trading Conference here in Mexico City?
Well, I actually try to go to as many trading conferences as I can because I like the fact that people are engaged. And I think it's very important for people in the industry to at least have a chance to, meet with people and hear what they, hear what they have to say. Also, tell your story and things like that, because it gets people, excited. It empowers people a little bit. So conferences like this one in Mexico City, it's really interesting because when you walk in, you see lots of people and you see everybody kind of really excited about being here. I think that's why we do it, right?
Yes, and know the experiences of other countries too, in other markets, no?
Yeah, for me, I've been to I've been to Mexico one other time to do a conference in Guadalajara, but I've also obviously done conferences a lot of different places around the world, like India, Singapore, Malaysia, London, things like that. So, we definitely do our fair share.
Great. Tom, given your extensive experience in financial markets, particularly in derivatives and risk management, what are your thoughts on the importance of specialized training and educational conferences like this one that we already talked about, and others that you already experienced in different countries?
Well, obviously, it's impossible to put a price you can't really quantify, you, you, you can't really put metrics around know-how. And to me, the most important thing about what we do, especially in the financial world, is know-how. So you have to start somewhere. You have to learn, and B, it's being able to articulate and explain that know-how so you can actually differentiate yourself from somebody else in finance. So what's so important about these conferences, and specifically this one, is that people are picking up know-how. They're learning how to articulate things about the market they might not have known before, and then that really sets them apart in whatever their career path is.
Okay, and how do you think it contributes to the development of leaders and professionals in this industry?
Well, it obviously helps. Whatever level of success you achieve in life, a lot of that is on you. like depending on, how committed you are, how well you use your resources, how hard you work, how smart you are, all those things. And some of those things, there's an expression we have that says you can't teach height. So some of those things you can't teach. Other things are learned, and they come through experience. They come through, they come through doing, and I don't think you can ever discount that. So those are important.
Sure. And we know that you've been a pioneer in democratization of financial education through platforms like Tastytrade.
Sure.
So what do you believe are the key elements that young investors should focus on to build a strong foundation in trading and investing?
They should focus on learning how to take risk, being comfortable with taking risk, and learning how to make decisions. Like, a lot of people are very risk averse, and I don't really understand it. It's hard to be uber successful if you are afraid of taking risk. Like, nothing is easy, and everything that successful people achieve comes through taking a lot of risk. So I think that young people should learn kind of the art of taking risk and the art of making decisions, fast decisions.
And long term, right? Because sometimes it's risk, and long term you have to wait, you have to be patient.
So that's great, because the reality of any successful entrepreneur is that it's all about duration. It's all about how long, we say longevity. So how much longevity do you have? Because the difference between success and failure is usually longevity.
Okay. Why do you think that?
Because there's not very many overnight sensations. There's not very many just one-hit wonders where, it happens occasionally, but the reality of success is that it takes a long time. The difference between somebody who's super successful and somebody who's not could be just a matter of longevity.
Sure. Well, and how can we better integrate these elements into formal education systems to prepare the next generations of market participants?
It's a challenge, but changing traditional curriculums in academia is not something that's very easy at all, because it's very expensive for universities like this one to change, traditional curriculum. But with younger professors and with people that have different kinds of backgrounds, like in financial engineering and financial math, degrees that didn't exist, 10 or 20 or 30 years ago. I think that the concept of quantitative finance and strategic finance is becoming much more commonplace, and the newer professors they really like it, and so they're going to change the university culture. Academia will change, it's just slow.
Okay. And well, we know that your work has significantly empowered retail investors to take control of their financial futures. So what do you think are the most important steps that exchanges and regulators should take to further support and protect retail investors, particularly in emerging markets like Mexico?
Well, the problem that exchanges and regulators have is that they don't do a very good job of understanding that you can never really grow your business without without retail participation, without a consumer, without a customer. You can't just have institutions trading against institutions. That's not a marketplace. And so it's taken the exchanges way too long. It's taken the regulators way too long to learn this. They're moving a little bit faster now, because with the growth of the retail business globally, the regulators had no choice. The exchanges had no choice but to address retail customers. So it's happening in spite of them, not because of them.
Okay. Well, and then looking ahead, how do you see the role of technology evolving in the financial markets, especially in terms of accessibility and also transparency?
Well, it's only going to get better and better. The technology, every single year, the technology gets faster, it gets more stable, it gets cleaner. It allows you to use more products and to use your capital more efficiently. Technology is, the backbone of everything that we do. So it's only going to get better.
Okay. Well, finally, Tom, which opportunities and challenges do you foresee for retail investors in this increasingly digital landscape?
Did you read my speech for tonight? Because this is like every question that I'm covering. I am covering these, I swear to you, in tonight's keynote. I think that there are a lot of things that we have to embrace. First of all, we have to embrace, globalization and as far as, markets go, because we need to be borderless. Second, um, we have to embrace new concepts like decentralization, tokenization. There's no reason why data should be as expensive as it is. There's no reason why clearing should be as expensive as it is. And what we have to do is we have to reduce costs, make markets accessible to everybody through decentralization, through the exchanges going global, and through the introduction of new products which bring people to the game.
Well, one last question, I promise.
Okay.
And this is about an advice that you could give to young professionals entering the financial industry today, because we know that you've inspired countless young people to take an active role in their financial futures.
I would say that be different. Like, don't try to tell the same story that everybody else tells. Tell a story, like trade. First of all, trade. Like, don't be afraid to trade. And once you trade, then you can tell your story so much differently than other people. Like, the problem with young people in finance right now is that the curriculums all around the world are very similar. And when they get out of school, everybody sounds the exact same. So learn how to, this is the speech I give to lots of universities, learn how to differentiate yourself.
Okay.
Like, learn how to be different.
Learn how to be different and listen to Tastytrade, and you can watch it also in YouTube. How can we find it? How can they find it in YouTube and Spotify?
Tastylive.com and also on our YouTube channel. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for this conversation, and thank you for being in Risk Management and Trading Conference.
Thank you.
Thank you.